This is my daughter-in-law's 1999 Toyota Camry Solara. It's got a 3-liter V6 engine in it, and it's got an engine misfire. The code was P0304, which is cylinder number 4 misfire. The way these V6 engines are numbered are 2, 4, and 6 on the front bank, and then of course the rear bank is underneath the intake manifold plenum right there, and they're numbered 1, 3, and 5. Of course, that's from the front of the engine right here. So of course this is number 4. That's what we're working with. And I already checked compression, and it was 120 psi, and that's fine. So I know I've got compression, and you need spark and fuel. So the way these coil-on plugs are, you've just got one coil-on plug on the front bank, and then you've got these 3 spark plug wires that go to the rear bank. So what I'm going to do, we're going to start it here in a minute. I'm going to pull this off. The engine's misfiring right now, so when I pull this off, it's going to misfire even worse. So if it does, then you know that this one is working because you made it misfire when you pulled that off. But then to check, of course, this coil-on plug has a real long boot that goes down and plugs into the spark plug. So to check, if the coil's working and firing out of this, I'm supposing that it's firing straight down to number 4. This goes to number 1. I suppose this could work and send spark to number 1 and maybe not number 4, but probably not probable. But anyway, what I'll do is I'll pull this up, and since this is misfiring already, it's not going to make any change in the engine, but you can hear the spark down in the bore. We can't pull it up very far because of the wire. We have to, of course, leave it plugged in, but you can hear it arcing and sparking, so we'll know we've got spark here and here. So then what's left is fuel. I changed the fuel filter last night just because the car's due for it anyway, and this is an intermittent problem, and I thought it was fixed, but it came back. So here's your injectors right here, and number 4 is kind of hard to see. Hold on a second, get something to point with. I've got it unplugged, so it's that green connector right there, and then this one is number 2. So there's your 3 injectors for the front bank. So what you can do is what I did, I've got my stethoscope here. I've just got a rubber hose on the end, and with the engine running, I could put that hose on just at the top of the injector connector, and you can hear it clicking. So I could hear these 2 clicking, but not number 4. So I'm pretty sure I got a bad injector. So then this is a Noid light, and I've got it. Here's the connector for number 4. I've got the Noid light plugged into the terminals in the connector. You don't want to cram them in there, or you might expand those terminals. They're female terminals. So just kind of touch them to the terminals, and this will flash. So we know we've got voltage going to the injector, so we know the injector's bad. If you don't have a stethoscope, you might just take a piece of hose and put it up to your ear and touch the injector connectors. You might be able to hear it that way. Or you might even take a long screwdriver or some other metal object and just touch the top of the connector and put your ear to the handle. That might work too. And I think that's all I need to tell you. Let's start it up and I'll show you how to do those tests. Doesn't take many tools, and we'll check it out. Might be hard to hear, but if you put it in gear, put a load on the engine, you can hear it kind of chugging, misfiring. Okay, we've got a pair of spark plug boots pullers, they're rubber coated, and you need to be careful. This could shock you a little bit. Might bite, might hurt a little bit, but not too bad. So I'm going to pull this up. Okay, when I pull that up, you'll hear the engine misfire a little worse. And that's really shooting spark out of that, so we know that's working. Let me take this bolt out. The engine vibrates a little bit, misfiring. Take some needle nose pliers and pull this up. Okay, I hope you can hear that arcing down inside the spark plug door. See, that made no difference. We got spark, but there's no change in the engine. So, you know we've got spark to that cylinder. There's no change in the misfire. So then that's how I would check the injector. And then, well, that must have pulled out of there. Hold on a second. Let me shut it off. My annoy light came unplugged just from the vibration of the engine. But anyway, like I said, those terminals I had just sitting down in there against those contacts, and it was flashing with the engine running. So we know we got power and ground going to the injector, so the injector's bad on it. One other thing, let me show you real quick. Okay, this is a number 6 cylinder, and it is firing, but we're going to unplug the injector. You got to push that button right there. The engine changes because we're causing a misfire, another misfire, so we know that injector is firing. So that wasn't too hard to check out. Like I said, you need compression, fuel, and spark. And if you don't have a compression tester, I believe you can rent those at the AutoZone or auto parts stores and check that. It's gonna, on a used engine, it's hard to say. I'm guessing should have probably at least 100 psi. I was checking compression on all of them, because I actually had 3 other cylinder codes, misfire codes in it also, but number 4 kept coming back after I'd clear it and start the engine a little bit or go drive it a short distance. So, but anyway, and then I had one, that's what I started to say, I had one cylinder that was like 140 psi, maybe 150, so it's kind of all over the board, but they need to be, if you had one cylinder that was way down, like 60 psi, then you've got a bad ring or scored cylinder or a bad valve. But if you've got good compression and spark and fuel, then you shouldn't have a misfire. So that's how to check it out. Didn't take too long, and thanks for watching.